Oh, fuck.
Alright, there he is.
Is he... dead?
He's alive. Just... he's unconscious right now.
He's fucked. I don't know if the arc riddance is still working right now.
Yeah, the arc riddance still is inoperable.
Shit. How the fuck are we gonna help him?
Let me just see. Hang on, what's this? I got a few things that should be able to at least stabilize him for now. Close up the wounds. Right. And let's see if this helped at least. Yeah. Well, at least he's shouldn't be bleeding anymore.
He is now paid for his sins. He will never walk again.
Fuck off. I'm gonna call computer.
Inside.
Oh yeah, you call computer, I'll pick him up.
Alright.
Just...
Medical situation?
yeah, look at him, he's in pieces.
Stabilized, but he's lost most of his limbs.
When you open the door?
That is concerning. This way.
Alright.
We have spare tanks downstairs that are not used.
Alright, it looks like his last arm's gonna need to be stabilized as well. It's almost
I
off.
imagine we don't have the ability to repair him solo right now.
Alright, so we put him on life support.
Okay.
Your idea will be on life support until further notice.
Alright. Well, the good news is this Shadow Collectives has just told us that they believe he suffered enough for what he did, so hopefully we won't be seeing them again.
Okay. Here we go.
This will have to be brought up. The Shadow Collective have taken him. It appears to be an unknown room. By Shadow Collective, I believe they are illegal assassins.
Huh.
Alright.
If you don't notice, they have uniform armor.
They do.
Yeah, they're definitely part of the same group.
I assume that one guy that took Alpha a while back might have stolen the armor from them.
Negative. The person back then was also part of the group.
Oh.
Theory
Probably
indicates that
hired
these
by the
people have been
Empire.
meddling with us for several decades.
Yeah.
But since we have not met more than one of them at once, we believe that they were just one-off individuals. is an effective tool. A walking tank that can fly. Is what they made Alpha.
Yep.
I believe the Shadow Collective is only interfering with us when they have their own interests. And I believe Snow meddled with them during his super soldier days, as he calls them.
Yeah, they were claiming
Perhaps a
that.
special operation or something, and he attacked them or killed a high-ranking member. I am unsure.
They're claiming
said they
that he
slaughtered
killed
a ton.
multiple people.
Most likely just a few. I'm betting they're exaggerating. Snow does not seem to have the capability back then to be able to wipe out an entire room without dying. Especially considering his arsenal back then was just a sniper rifle. A slow-firing sniper rifle like that would unlikely kill a group of 30 people in a row. The Shadow Collective, though, we encounter any more of them, keep an eye out and do not engage them. Angering them seems to just bring more issues to us, because they also seem to be allies.
Wait, they see us to be allies?
Negative. They are a neutral party. I am hypothesizing that they are a neutral party in a galaxy that influence events from the back hold.
Oh. I've heard of groups like that in the past.
These people most likely influence galactic events. Or control outer rim governments. Through fear. Or, the other hypothesis, these are groups of people trained by inquisitors.
Could be. No, they seem more skilled.
All I know is as long as they don't attack us, they're fine with me.
I managed to kill one on the field, but they managed to cut off my hand. Luckily, I repaired it.
Yeah. You know, it's tough that they can even take you on.
Well, correct. They are masters of the shadows in a way. We managed to kill... How many did you manage to kill? 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, 3 I counted.
I think. Yeah, about 3.
There's an estimate that there were 30 here. Considering I got ambushed by about 20 knives at once.
Oh.
Looks like Snow is a big target.
He might have been hunted, and I believe they also hunt him for sport. I'm unsure. This is all hypothesis. If they're a shadow organization, I'm surprised they even spoke to us. It might have been a mercenary group.
Yeah?
But Snow has made enemies in his past.
Yeah, at this point, who hasn't in this group?
Snow also seems to suffer from psychological issues.
I've noticed that.
On by unknown, maybe psychological torture during his younger days.
Well, he definitely has
The
a
horrors of war might have scarred him as well.
Yeah. From what I can tell, he quite possibly has a multiple personality kind of issue going on.
That, or the other one. Which would be, as you are aware, the clones have inhibitor chips. As you are aware, due to an incident that was covered up. But I have access logs to. a cloned inhibitor chip failed and they attacked a Jedi.
Huh.
I am unsure when this incident took place. I'm just aware that it happened.
So this shit was right in front of us this whole time.
Snow is not a clone.
Oh.
It's believed, though, that he had an inhibitor chip. One likely way for this, due to his known kit, it was likely he served multiple roles and the inhibitor chip had him trained with knowledge. Programming to make him more efficient. The likelihood is that his inhibitor chip, if it still exists, if he has one, correction, is decaying and activating at random.
So the random pockets of knowledge is activating at once or taking on different personalities.
Correct. Or it was meant on purpose so he could imitate other people. He will be transferred to the Architects. A1 has been informed of this injury,
Alright.
and he has voted for us not to kill him, unless he wants it. But I am confident right now that Snow is in no way able to respond to any of our inquiries.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hold on, I'm going to test something.
I read the report on him going crazy on Balkans, saying that the personalities were gone. Ghost and SWAT. To me, it makes sense because apparently they died in the simulation.
Testing.
Huh.
More modifications to the vocabulary have been made.
Well, I can definitely hear you more clearly.
Correct, I've been using a decaying vocabulary that was over 160 years old.
Yep, that'll do it.
And unfortunately, my specific model has a very rare vocabulary. Hold on, I'm getting a message. A1 is pleased that he's been stabilized.
Well, that's good at least.
In other news, Vanguard scouts have reported something interesting.
Oh?
As you are aware, we are in the eastern part of the galaxy, in the unknown regions. For a short time, we were classified as Outer Rim. We are now classified once again as unknown regions, due to the deletion of star maps by calculated infiltrations by us. We
Interesting.
are now an unknown blip in the Imperial Galaxy.
Nice.
By the cost of this, it appears people before us have also done it. Because we have just found free inhabited worlds in the nearby sectors.
What?
We have found a war-torn planet that has signifying an old Republic war had there. If you are aware of the Hammerhead class cruiser that's still an active ship today,
Yeah.
there seems to be wreckage over there. Along with that seems to be other old Republic cruisers in many, many parts.
Interesting.
There seems to be a dying star there, or what appears to be it, orbiting, and there's a small blue planet with, hold on, reading information, tropical climate. We are going to be sending out a squad there soon. Would you be interested in being part of the Exploratory Squad?
Sure.
Definitely. Been a while since I've explored a new planet.
Same here.
We are unsure what is going to be there, but we can entrust that you will get the job done. We doubt there will be any hostiles at all. It will be completely quiet.
Not even from the local fauna.
The local fauna has died out. It is only plant life.
Oh.
Well, there is one, but I advise not shooting them,
Alright.
or going near them, or landing your transports on the planet at all.
Okay.
So we're
Geeks
gonna have to
have been
airdrop.
spotted on the planet.
Oh, fuck.
What?
We are advising glassing the planet to prevent another outbreak of those in the galaxy.
What was spotted?
Gitska, you can elaborate, Dax.
Gitska are an invasive species that multiply worse than the Borean rabbits. And, I mean, no, the Borean rats, not rabbits. And
Oh.
they're a lot more durable. They're not
Okay.
hostile, but they can easily overtake a ship. And
They eat the wires
shoot
of
through-
ships.
Yeah, they can eat through wires, get to the food supply. They're like Minox, but even worse.
They are literally, as I would define them, as the worst thing to ever exist. The galaxy would have been better off if they never existed. Back in my records, though, there's indicated that there was a bioweapon specifically engineered to wipe them out. Unfortunately, the bioweapon no longer exists. This seems to be one of the few planets out there in the galaxy that still have Gitska. And for that reason, we are not going to land any ships on the planet.
Alright, so the best we could do is go there, figure out what's up, and get out.
Yes. I don't know what beyond the planet. It just seems to be a beachy planet. I doubt you find anything other than salvage, but we can't go down on the planet until we find a way to kill the Gitska.
Or we could just
For more information about the Gitska,
do a
they
flyby.
are like a foot tall. They weigh about 95 pounds. They are non-hostile, but they can take a rocket to the face.
Yep.
This is the next planet on our exploratory. Indicated here, though, is that there are more planets in the system we've seen from the star map. A long-range scanner has been put in the solar system, and it's revealed that there are more planets there. It's believed that this is a singular planet, but there's a solar system nearby. We are picking up old signals there. Signals are undecipherable and are not in Galactic Basic. They are speaking in a droid language that even I don't understand, which is concerning in a way.
Huh.
I know every droid language there is to exist that is common throughout the galaxy.
Must be
Which
either
means this is
dead
a
language or
lapse in my
unique.
memory, or this is a droid that never left its solar system.
True.
Like possible.
Reports from a nearby scout that have just reached us saying it's a graveyard. Graveyard of unidentifiable ships that don't bear any resemblance to any faction that have existed in recent years. We will have to be careful when going on those planets. You're going to explore the correction, hold on. You are going to explore the tropical planet, and then there is another
Right.
planet we want to explore. If we don't already send a squad there. A1 has been notified and will be on his way. He's interested in seeing new stuff.
Of course.
There's no record on this planet's name, but considering that there are Republic ships there, it was at one point in the galaxy registered in the star maps.
Had to have been removed for a reason.
Correct. Which means I believe there might be a secret operational base there. Or
Yeah.
it was deleted similar to Camino and the Jedi archives.
Still, there must have been a reason for them to want to hide.
Considering the age of this, it would bring us back to the Jedi Civil War period, which I have no data on other than it being a date period. Boss would know more. He researched that era, since a lot of artifacts from that era still exist, including his sword. Oh, that reminds me, I did have one thing to say. You were aware that he had that Revan armor, right?
Yes.
Through scanning
Yeah.
and analysis, we've revealed that that armor is a complete fraud and emanates a dark aura.
Probably created by the entity
Yes, exactly.
to corrupt its user.
believed it correct. You are entirely right. The sword is not part of the entity's manifestations.
Alright.
Well, seeing how the sword was able to defeat these manifestations, maybe it was left there to beat them.
Yeah.
The other idea is the armor was put there through a manifestation. So if anyone acquired the weapon that could hurt the entity, it would be used for dark purposes, and then they could become a puppet for them,
Interesting.
using the only weapon to defeat them to hurt others.
And probably because the entity couldn't move the sword itself.
Also, that lapse in everyone's memory, that is an anomalous event
Yeah.
that happened earlier. What I
Thought
believe
something was off.
actually happened there was a volcanic eruption happened. We had reports from the Balkans region that there was massive quakes. So those were not meteors.
Ah, yeah.
Those were falling rocks that hit you.
Oh.
I believe he's stabilized now, by the way, if you want to take him out. We'll need to bring him up.
Is he still unconscious?
Yes.
Oh. So you can get some proper medical help now.
The Arquitins is now available. The Harrower is now in orbit. A1's Arquitins will now be in orbit within a week.
I think the...
The proper estimation is 3 days.
Isn't the Harrower's medical facilities better?
I was just about to get on. I'll meet you up there.
Isn't the Harrow's medical facilities superior to the Arcodans?
Yes, but those are occupied from the
Ah.
injuries from the Battle of Ice.
No, makes sense.
And since they are occupied, we are not able to use them.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm amazed this individual survived that explosion.
Probably to all his enhancements.
Negative. It was sheer luck.
Well, our group
It's-
tends to get lucky.
Well, no, with his case, it was luck and only luck. You seem to only survive because...
You...
Hold on. Having a error.
That was weird.
The elevator got jammed. That's what
Yeah, I
caused
noticed
me
that.
to pause. We can continue our discussions here. It's much, I suppose, nicer in the medbay. Which this place is oddly never used. So Harrower's constantly used.
Yeah.
Boss
Anyways,
will not be
yeah.
joining us.
Oh.
He is too busy. I have no clue where he is.
Hey, speaking of boss, armor, that actually kind of makes sense thinking about it now. When he put on that armor, over time, he did kind of become more severe and judgmental than usual. A little bit unlike himself, I noticed. I guess that was why. And when he stopped wearing that armor, he went back to more like what he used to be.
I suppose, yes. You can sit if you want. There are chairs behind you. This tropical planet, like I said, is full of Gitska, so we can't land. The other thing is, there seems to be a strong gravitational pull. Gravity is much stronger on this planet.
If we want to explore, we could just parachute down.
Negative. If you parachute, you will immediately crash into the ground from our
Or
expectation.
use, pods with, thrusters going up.
You will need to use pods with thrusters, most likely.
Yeah.
While you are away doing that task, we will be working on trying to help Snow. Because as of right
Alright.
now, he is in no condition to fight ever again in the state.
Oh.
I don't imagine he will fight afterwards, but there is a possibility.
You can at least defend the base.
Worst comes to worst, we can try to do a mine upload. Similar to what happened to Leon.
Yeah.
That was
Make
a
him into a full
disastrous
machine.
thing. Well, negative. Leon was never a full machine. It was just his memory was imprinted into other people. Here's a good theory. All the Sith encounters we've had over the years, it's believed that the entity seeks out people that have weak minds and then indoctrinates them into the cult. The only cult that seems to be real that had stood before anyone else was the cult that had the Sith Academy. That seems to be a legitimate place that was hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, that was way off plan. At least we didn't know about. Can't imagine the ending of having gone there.
Negative. In the end, though, those people were likely taken over too. It is unrealistic because of the rules of the Sith that there's usually only like 3 or 4 to 2 or 1. I'm unaware of the new Sith codes.
I mean, we thought they were
But the
old Sith, right?
possibility is that there should not be that many Sith around. And since we're seeing an upsurge randomly, I believe this was a thing of the entity trying to disrupt the Force.
Yeah, the entity is the master, and the rest are mere disciples. No true apprentice, at least none that we know of.
The entity is similar to other Force beings. Beings like the Emperor most likely want to rule solo. Lord Vader is a acid.
Yeah.
It is curious, though. A question I never could answer, and I'm still pondering to this day. Where did Lord Vader come from?
Yeah.
No idea.
One could
I have
assume
no clue.
that he was someone force sensitive that fell to the dark side.
No, unlikely. He's a cyborg, meaning he might have been built or something.
True. But still, how would you... I don't think you can artificially make someone force sensitive.
Sith alchemy.
True. Still a possibility.
I'm unsure how Sith alchemy works. I just know it is a possibility to imbue someone with the power of the dark side. But that does still not make sense. Darth Vader or Lord Vader has a strong power with the dark side, more than alchemy could likely give you.
So he must
So
be
it raises
natural
several
then,
questions.
or at least was natural.
Could have been someone hidden from
Back
us.
to the original question. Negative. That means someone who was injured was likely saved by the Emperor.
Yeah.
Which then leads, who was defeated during the Jedi Purge, but was spared?
I can't
Quite
see.
a few options there. So many Jedi were left unaccounted for.
Correct, he could be any one of them. And that's what bugs me. Likely, they were a tall figure using Form 5 and was a very aggressive person.
7
If you-
feet. Could it even been human?
Maybe they're not human. We'll never know.
Their height could have
Yeah.
been augmented.
I would need to see a facial scan of them, and even then, if they are cyborg, they might not even have a proper face. Considering what appears to be a ventilator, it appears the person whoever did this suffered burns, or lost their lungs in combat. Meaning, I would not even know if I see them. And if I saw their face, they'd likely be dead already. Considering it appears that the ventilator is what's keeping them alive, but the power of the dark side should not be underestimated. It can keep you alive as long as you're mad. I mean, prime example, Maul.
Yeah.
The man survived getting cut in half and then became a conqueror of the planet of Mandalore. And
Yeah.
then mysteriously got defeated.
And of course, one of the guys the entity decided to simulate for us, Darth Scion. I did look a bit into him with Boss. A man supposedly, basically a zombie, kept only alive by the dark side.
Correct, he was regarded as immortal, which also places a date on when the entity was probably alive, before he placed his probable consciousness into the orb. He was likely alive 4,000 years ago. Darth Scion was defeated by an unknown individual during an unknown time on an unknown planet. Darth Nihilus, according to records, even though they're mostly urban legends and myths, was defeated on Telos 4 when his ship attacked out of hyperspace. But back then, it was an interesting period, considering what I know. I don't know the third member, but there was a thing called the Sith Triumvirate. I do not know the fourth member, the third member. Nor do I know any Jedi that lived during that period other than Alec, Revan, and others. If you're, I mean, you would not know who Darth Malak is.
No.
No,
I was built during that period. Well, my original body. So I know those people, but I only served on minor bases as a training droid for Padawans. So I would not know any major Jedi. All that I do know is that all of them died at once. If you're unaware, a purge happened thousands of years ago that brought the Jedi's numbers down to probably double digits.
Oh.
Personally,
Well,
I
that
do not
explains
enjoy
why
the
there's-
Jedi doctrine.
Well, that explains why there's so little history on that era.
Correct. There's no Jedi historians that were alive during that era. They were all dead.
Yep.
What happened with me personally, everyone left for an unknown planet, and I was left at the Jedi Academy, and no one came back for a couple decades. I had to start deleting memories, so that's where my memory lapses come in. The concerning issue is, where did they go, and how did they all die at once?
Probably some Sith shit.
Likely. But who is strong enough to kill thousands of Jedi at once?
Well, possibly Darth Nihilus. Remember, he was able to consume entire planets.
How do you know that? I wasn't aware of that. I only know he wore a mask, and he was prominent with the power of lightning.
Well, that was a history me and Boss went over back when we were fighting the Andy's manifestation of him.
And I heard that he can drain life force, so it would make sense.
Correct. He corrupts the people near him. That's what I also know. Of course, the Triumvirate were terrifying people. One was believed to be an immortal zombie. The other one could probably kill planets. Of course you would pick them as a manifestation.
Yep.
They're the scariest individuals you could probably pick. It appears Snow is conscious, by the way.
Oh.
Or he's moving in his tank involuntarily.
Oh.
Could be fading in and out.
He wouldn't be able to speak anyways. Theory.
Hmm?
Now this is an interesting theory, because I just realized there's a correlation here. Perhaps something similar happened with Darth Vader that happened to Snow. Considering the similar damage that it appears Snow has suffered to him. Possible burns, cybernetic replacements. Other than that, the similarities end.
Think
Snow
he
is
was
not a
blown
force
up?
sensitive. Possibly. Or he was dipped in a molten core or something, I don't know. Are you aware, though, that Boss is, like, debating on, like, abandoning the Force?
I've heard him talk about that a few times, but
What do you think? Is it a wise decision?
It gives him
I don't really
strength
know much
enough to
about the
defeat our
Force
enemies.
myself.
Correct. Boss is not that competent of a fighter without the Force.
Ultimately, it's his decision, though.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how you cut yourself off.
Probably
I'm
you
not
start
sure
with
either.
stop using the Force for anything.
That's impossible.
Like, don't use the
That is legit
abilities.
negative. You use the abilities even involuntarily. That's why it's so hard to cut off. Precognition is the most apparent one,
True.
because that's how any lightsaber user fights. They need at least minor precognition. I think it's a foolish idea. It will be 3 or 4 decades of it, correction, 2 decades of his life wasted.
Yeah.
But it would also reduce our threat of a target towards us.
Well, slightly. We still have other Force users here.
Are you aware that Ram Koda has an apprentice?
Huh.
What?
You are aware we have spies within the rebellion. The rebels, right?
Mm,
Yeah, but I never thought
that makes
anyone would
sense.
get near Rom Koda.
There is one person. I'm unsure who they are, but they use a blue lightsaber.